As you all know, the LGBTQ community is huge nowadays. Here at HAMS, you don't have to look that hard for a person who's a part of this community. I bet that at least most of you guys have heard about the LGBTQ community, and some of you might not know what it is. Well, the LGBTQ community is a community that consists of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning/queer people. Middle school age ranges are when we start to discover sexuality, what people we like, and even what people we are. I have a few friends who are a part of this community, and I myself am questioning my own sexuality. Going back to the whole LGBTQ community growing, the more it grows, the more anti-supporters appear. This anti-supporter is a homophobe. A homophobe is a person with a huge dislike against homosexuality. Recently, I've interviewed a few people who have been affected by homophobic bullying to prove my point that homophobic people are just doing the wrong thing all the time. I asked them all about if they've been bullied, what they did, how they felt, about friends who have also been affected, and most importantly, if their parents were supportive, which is the answer I will be reading. Out of all of these interviews that I've taken, this one is the most lengthy and clearly gave the most information. This person identifies as a trans male gay. He claims that his parents aren't supportive, so he hasn't come out to them. His parents are both homophobic and extremely transphobic. He says it's almost like a stab in the back when they talk so negatively about the LGBT community, and they tell him to be himself, but he really can't if they're being so judgmental and not accepting. This boy must be going through a lot because of what goes on in his school and even at his own home. Luckily, he does have his current boyfriend and friends to come to when he's being bullied. He, I believe, is at risk of getting kicked out for coming out. This brings me to the second half of my problem. Kids are getting kicked out after coming out to their parents as LGBT. I believe this is a problem because just imagine, you're a part of the LGBTQ community and your parents aren't supportive, so you haven't come out due to fear. One day you decide to come clean and you come out to your parents, but the next thing you know, you're out on the streets struggling to survive because they kicked you out. According to the Washington Post, up to 1.6 million people experience homelessness in the U.S. each year, and 40% of them identify as LGBT. According to a 2012 study conducted by the Williams Institute at UCLA Law, it's estimated that LGBT youth represents about 7% of the population, which puts that 40% of homeless people into heartbreaking context. You may be thinking, what can we do to fix these problems? Why should I even care? Well, you should care. I want to hold peaceful protests and things of the sort, though not many people would want to participate in something that could escalate and turn violent at any moment. So I want to make posters and such to put up in elementary to high schools, offices, all kinds of those places. These posters will include short messages such as this one, which I created yesterday, and I believe these posters will definitely influence children to be nicer to others no matter what the circumstances are, especially if they live in a judgmental home. Adults, on the other hand, are going to be harder to convince since they're very entitled to their own opinions, which is why I also want to launch a website. This website will allow LGBTQ members to post videos and blog entries about their experiences coming out, homophobic encounters, things like that. These things will allow homophobic people to see what these LGBTQ members are going through, and hopefully they realize that what they're doing is wrong and that LGBTQ members are humans too. They have feelings just like us. Going to the whole kids getting kicked out situation, I want to create a type of home for them. If they get kicked out, all they have to do is call the place. A ride will pick them up and take them to the facility, which will be called You Matter Too, Pairing Home for LGBTQ+. Once the kicked out person arrives, they will be handed a clipboard with questions they have to answer about themselves, such as how old are you, what was your life like, personality description, and things like that. Then they will be able to stay in rooms until they get paired. Everyone will be paired with families that are similar to them so they can be comfortable around their caretakers. Once paired, the families will make a promise to take good care of their foster children, and hopefully all will be well from that point. I clearly will not be able to achieve these solutions on my own, so I want us all to put our differences aside and come together. Together we could work to get one step closer to a bully-free and hate-free world. Thank you.